Welcome back. Donald Trump calling on Hillary Clinton to have all of her daily schedules while Secretary of State released before Election Day. This after the State Department said it could not complete a court-ordered release until after voters cast their ballots in November. Meanwhile, the State Department is facing another deadline. Any emails about Benghazi between Clinton and the White House sent during the week after the deadly attack now set for release by September 13th. They're among 15,000 emails newly recovered by the FBI. Michael Mukasey joining us now. He served as Attorney General under President George W. Bush. Judge Mukasey, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Maria.
First off, what's your takeaway? Mayor Giuliani just said death by 1,000 cuts. But every day there's just one more piece of info where there's emails about Benghazi and there's emails about donors getting money and donating so that, they get access. What do you think is most damning here?
I think what's most damning is what the mayor referred to when he talked about interests of the United States being compromised as a result of people getting access to the Secretary of State, which in turn resulted from their making contributions to the foundation. I think the uranium deal that he pointed to and her intervention in behalf of UBS, if in fact that's what happened, are the most damning, because there you have interests of the United States that are directly being compromised as a result of people getting access to the Secretary of State. But there are many more ways in which that access can influence events. Everything from getting a photograph with the Secretary of State that you hang on your wall. Somebody who's doing business with you comes into your office, sees that you have access to the Secretary of State, and figures, hey, I better do business with this person because this person has access to important people.
Right.
It's that kind of thing. Everything from that to the sorts of things that Mayor Giuliani referred to. And you're never going to find an explicit email that says, well, if I give you this money, will you do this and that for me? The question is whether there's a pattern. And that's what people should be looking for.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that pattern is developing, and is it resonating with voters? I mean, one of the issues is there's so many emails and so many sort of conflicts out there with her being Secretary of State and her husband running the foundation, that it's, people are saying, oh, more, and they're not really paying attention. But when you actually look at the details of this, it may very well be that the American people were compromised. I
can't tell you whether it's resonating with voters. Obviously, I'm not a politician. I'm not a pollster. I can tell you that there appears to be a pattern emerging every time you get another email. It's another little piece of the puzzle that you put in a jigsaw puzzle, and gradually it comes together.
Now, we know that from what's been released of her schedule that 50% of the people that she met with as Secretary of State, 50% were donors to the Clinton Foundation, which I found so extraordinary.
It's 50% of the non-governmental contacts that she had. She met with foreign heads of state and so on. If you factor that out and take the remainder, it's 50% of the remainder.
Right. And do you think that, given that we will see the schedules released sooner? I mean, the State Department is saying, look, we cannot release the schedules of the Secretary of State before November. So they're basically not giving the American people the actual evidence and information before they go to the ballot box.
It's hard to understand why they can't release them before November. And I wish, if in fact that's true, that they would explain why it is that you can't take a calendar and simply delete out any classified information. And I can't imagine there would be a lot of classified information, because all a calendar reflects is an appointment. The fact that somebody talked to somebody else should not itself be classified. But if it is, then okay, blot it out. But there are only a finite number of days that she served, and it seems to me you could go over that in a morning and figure out which things have to be deleted and which things don't.
Right. Now, Julian Assange says that WikiLeaks is going to release more Clinton emails before Election Day, even as the judge is ordering these 15,000 Clinton emails ordered to be submitted by September 13th. This is really tight, Judge, in terms of getting more information right before people go to the polls. Do you think there's some bombshell out there?
I have no idea whether there's a bombshell out there. I know that Julian Assange is a great self-promoter, and so obviously he wants to promote interest in whatever it is he's going to disclose. But I also find it very interesting that, notwithstanding that Secretary Clinton said she omitted all of the, that she included all of her business-related emails, when they reviewed the thousands that were received from the FBI, they got hits using the word Benghazi in the week after the attack. So there's every reason to believe that there's more relating to that. And when she stood over the coffins of the people coming back from Benghazi and talked about a video, and we know that the talking points were changed to delete any reference to Al Qaeda, I think that's the place to look for something significant, if there is something there.
Yeah. Judge, good to have you on the program. Thanks so much.
Good to be here.
We'll see you soon. Judge Michael Mukasey there. Hillary Clinton's economic policies, meanwhile, coming under fire. Donald Trump is slamming her agenda as harmful to America. We will compare both economic plans. How Trump says his plan to get the nation back on track. We'll take a look at it. We're looking ahead this morning on Sunday Morning Futures. Back in a moment.